Hi, I'm Matt Webley. Welcome to another, quite got a formal name for these yet, but another seller interview. And we have got Terry Clapson here. How are you doing, Terry?
I'm doing great, Matt. Thanks. How about you?
I'm all right. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Terry, let's get started. I should warn you that he's got a beautiful pink tree in his back garden, but there is going to be a window cleaner maybe at some point, window cleaning. But hey ho, it's all part of it. It should add to the atmosphere and the fun. So Terry, tell us a little bit about yourself. So if anybody's not seen you in the Facebook groups or seen you before, tell us about Terry. What do you do, and give us some of your background.
Okay, Matt. So nowadays I'm full-time Amazon's reseller, so third-party seller. I've been doing it for almost 2 years. I've been a limited company now for a year, so just gone past the year mark, and it's going pretty well actually. Just going from strength to strength. I've got a background in different industries. I started really in tourism. I then went into banking, administration, and doing reconciliation things, stuff that I didn't really find very interesting. And then the banking industry collapsed, and I found myself out of a job with that. Got back into work in the IT capacity, and I was doing that for the best part of 10 years, really, I suppose. And from there, I quit my job a few years ago, actually, to explore crypto. And I thought I was just going to make millions of pounds doing crypto, but it's been a long road. Sorry.
So you had a job. What was your last job? Your last actual job that you did? What was that?
I was it's called a discoverer. So I was installing applications and writing up instructions on how they get installed on computers, so we could package them up and deliver them applications to companies so that they can roll them out for different operating systems. So it's I was doing that for the best part of 4 or 5 years, I think it was.
And then you just decided, I'm gonna. Oh, here we go. Love it. He's famous. So you decided then that you're just going to quit your job and trade cryptos.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah. So I thought I was going to just quit my job, move into crypto, and it'd be no problem whatsoever. And just sit there and make a healthy living out of it. But you probably know it went through a massive bear market come 2018, and it's taken like a couple of years, 2-3 years, to really start bringing back the glory days. And right now, it's my initial investment's gone up multiple times, but for the last for 2 years after I made my investment, I was struggling, thinking I'm going to lose this money forever. So I had to try and figure out, what else am I going to do? Am I going to start working for another company, do something that I really probably don't enjoy that much, or what am I going to do to try and keep myself off the grid, I suppose? So
did you buy in? Did you basically take a bunch of money that you'd made in your job and just buy a ton of crypto when it was doing this? And is that what you did, or was the idea to trade?
It wasn't through my job. It was actually through the sale of a house. So I sold a house, had a whole load of money in the bank. I was living comfortably. Yeah. So
you sold a house, what you consider a relatively safe asset, at least in the UK. Houses tend to hold the value over time, if not increase. And you sold your house, released a bunch of equity, and then put it into crypto.
That wasn't the intention of selling the house and doing that. The selling the house was something that was happening on the side anyway. So for a long time, I had like a healthy looking bank balance through the sale of the house, and I was just working in my day job, not really making waves in it, but still comfortable, I suppose. But then the opportunity, I suppose, really came by for crypto, and I thought that it was a great opportunity at the time. But what it turns out to be was like the worst possible time to try and enter. It was January 2018, just after.
What was that? Was it 18? Was it about 18K or something like that? Crypto, Bitcoin,
yeah, was it? It was. Yeah, it had already peaked, because it had peaked in December 2017, and it's almost 20 grand. I think it was rebounding at that time in January, whilst all the alts were flourishing, and so So yeah, most of my money went into alts, and I sat there pretty much for like 2 years just trying to recover it. And at the moment, it's in good standing right now. And
nice. So you thought you'd blown your house money, and in fact you hodled, and here we are. And presumably, unless you were doing some kind of trading, if you just held them, presumably if it was just in Bitcoin, you probably at least doubled your money then.
Yeah, but it wasn't. So yeah, I've made pretty much every mistake that I possibly could make, but I'm a little bit wise because of it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean,
awesome.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just glad. I'm glad you got it back, because obviously I saw crypto peak, and then I saw it go boom, and I didn't realize people were putting. I mean, I dabbled a little bit. I've got like £1,000 in crypto or something like that, but I didn't know anyone was going. Here we go. Somebody else. Window cleaner. I didn't know anybody was proper going all in like that. That's you've got some. What's the politically correct term these days? Let's just go with balls. You got some balls to do that, Terry.
Yeah, well, I do like to jump in feet first, really. So
good on you. So the crypto dream looked at the time like it was going to be a nightmare. Luckily, it's recovered since, and that's wonderful. But so you thought, okay, so the crypto thing that I thought was going to make me a gazillionaire isn't going to happen. So then what happened then? Is that where you got into Amazon? Yeah,
it is pretty much. It's I bumped into a lady that used to work at my gym, and she was very closely sort of tied with the owner of the gym. She works for him, and she told me that he was doing a £0 to £100,000 challenge to try and prove to people that don't have any money that you don't need money to make money, that you can just do it basically from nothing. And so once I started watching his YouTube channel, I kind of got hooked, you know. So I watched one, then the other, and then the other, and I saw how this is snowball effect of just going with products that you can find that you can sell on and just make a living out of it. And I thought, well, once I saw the online arbitrage method that it was showing, I was like completely sold. I thought, why isn't everyone doing this? And that was the game changer for me, because I was shooting off in all different directions. I was going to do lots of different RA. So I was going to what they call car boot sales, going to car boot sales, going to different shops, going to warehouses or anywhere that I can try and find. I once went to a guy's garage where he stores his own trade stuff, and it was just like some unit that was in the middle of nowhere. And I'm just checking this guy's stock as if it's something that's going to make me a fortune. But yeah, I mean, there's loads of different ways that you can try and find products. But now that I've kind of settled down after a couple of years, I feel like I've found my my forte, and I'm feeling quite confident about the future as well.
I just got scared then. It said live, and I said this was recorded. I could just imagine this being live in one of the groups, and I told you it was recorded. It's okay. It does say record. It does say record only. I can imagine, what if we're live in Secret Wealth Project and I've just told them we're not, and everyone's looking and listening, and yeah, it's fine. We're good. Okay, so you found OA on YouTube, and it piqued your interest. So you started looking into it. Is that the first kind of online business model you did? So you've gone from working full-time forever to buying a bunch of crypto straight into Amazon OA? Was there like a little bit of a transition period whereby you were trying different things, or just straight OA?
So from quitting my job to starting Amazon was probably about 15 months.
Right.
16 months, so almost a year and a half. But
was that a tough time? Was that a tough time going through that?
I mean, I was burning through money like this, going out of fashion. So you know, I'd already stuck a load of money in crypto, and I was, you know, it doesn't cost. Well, it costs money just to live, doesn't it? So I was running out of money pretty much, and I thought, what am I going to do with this? I either have to face the music and get a job, which I don't want to do. Or what am I going to do? So I found a way to actually work for myself. And once you feel that your back is up against the wall, that there's pretty much no other option, what are you going to do about it? You kind of go all in. And that's where I was with it. I mean, I was maxing out credit cards and all that kind of thing, just trying to get some extra product. And I'm still kind of doing that as well. I'm still heavily leveraged when it comes to the amount of stock that I've got. But
you're not scared of risk, are you? You are that all-in kind of guy. If you're going to do it, you do it properly, don't you? You're like,
I am, yeah. There's several examples of that in my life, yeah.
So what did you start with then, capital-wise? Because obviously you were burning through your capital living for all these months whereby you'd not got your job. And unlike most people that fight to get out of a job, you were fighting to stay out of a job. Do you know what I mean? You wanted your own thing. So what money did you bring to the table at that point for your first foray into Amazon? I'm guessing you went as all in as you could.
No, not as much as I could. I basically, I suppose I was being a little bit conservative, just trying to see if I could, first of all, see if I could actually find some see that if it actually sells. You know, things. Yeah. It's one thing sending something. Everyone talks about their first batch they ever send into Amazon and how it's like a game changer. But for me, it's like I sold some little toy car or something like that I got from Home Bargains, and I was like, wow, someone's bought this, and I probably made a loss in it, and that continued pretty much throughout the first 2 months where I was making losses, but I was at least churning out the process and trying to figure out, you know, what I can do, and made so many mistakes along the way, but.
So 2 months into it, you'd sold a bunch of stuff on Amazon, but lost a bunch of money doing it. What was the turning point for you? What made you go from 2 months of losing money to something clicked, and presumably at that point you started making money? What was that? What was that pivot point?
I think maybe I just chucked so much mud at the wall that some of it started to stick. So, you know, I put in so much effort in different directions. I was doing RA, I was doing online arbitrage, I was speaking to local traders, which, you know, still have been doing as well. But I haven't really done any of that really in the last few months. But yeah, I mean, I bought so much different stuff that it was starting to actually work, and I was trying to replenish the ones that were selling well, and I was able to make money out of. But when I look back now, I would never make the same purchases again. You know, it's like, but at the time it was right for me because, you know, I didn't know any better. So I did know enough to stop buying the bad ones. So I was able to direct my attention to the ones that were making some money and repeat that process. And yeah, so you kind of rub shoulders with a few people. You tread on a few toes as well, people that do the same kind of sales as you. And you don't realize just how much you do of that until you actually join a Facebook group as well. And then the game changes. You think everyone's doing the same thing to each other. So
yeah. So would you say that in the early days you focused on replenishables, or you focused, or how has it changed from then to now? Do you do replenishables mostly, or do you find yourself purchasing brand like new stock every time? What does your purchasing pattern look like?
My purchasing pattern nowadays compared to what it was like back then, I was doing all sorts of different categories. I mean, when I think about the categories that I was doing at the beginning, probably about 6 or 7 different categories. I've got my one foot in toys and games, another one in DIY, another one in beauty, or all these different types of things. If someone would sell it to me, I would basically buy it if I could make a profit on it, and I would try and sell it. But now my attention is much more focused towards a couple of categories, really. So now it's more like health and beauty, and also groceries as well. So I think both of them are very replenishable items. So people are going to buy them week in, week out. Whereas so I mean, there's cyclical different things, different seasonal kind of products that you might get at Christmas time or Easter and things like that. And so they're things to be well aware of. But generally speaking, the categories that I sell in are replenished each week. So, you know, quite happy with the available stock and sales that there are.
So do you find yourself just like doing the high volume kind of low profit margin kind of model of replenishing, just going through it and doing loads of units at a lower profit margin? Or what's your metrics look like when you're sourcing a deal? Are you kind of like, I guess you're not, from what you've told me, I'm guessing you are like a pound profit kind of guy, but you could sell 100 of them, so you will. Or are you more a 50% ROI kind of guy?
No, I'm more 100% and above kind of ROI kind of guy. So I look for high sales in high profitable products. So I'll have premium brands. And if I'm not doing premium brands, then I'm doing some sort of bundles or something, I'll be looking for a minimum profit of, I don't know, £2.50 or £3 or something, depending on the volumes that you'll be able to get. But generally speaking, look at 100% ROI and above. If I can get 200 or 300, then that'd be awesome. And it does happen a lot.
I thought you were going to be one of these guys that, I sell them, I stock a pile of my, sell them cheap, like 15% ROI, no, 100% ROI, and fast sellers. A lot of people Sorry, go on, Terry.
I'll do break even, just try and get myself out of a hole sometimes. So if I've got some groceries that are expiring, which is something I'm very hot on nowadays, to know when my grocery items are actually going to be expiring, I'll make sure I try and sell them off before it gets to that point. And it's a little bit worrying sometimes when you just think that you just chuck away capital for nothing. So.
Yeah, it must be annoying. So, Terry, what tools do you use to help you do this? Because you sound like you've got the model right. Like most people think that with high sales has to come low ROI, but you're saying you've got high sales, high ROI. So you're doing everything correctly by the sounds of it. What tools do you use to help you do that?
So I've been using Profit Protector Pro and BuyBot Pro since I've been doing OA as a normal business strategy for us. So also venturing into Elite Sellers Academy as well, headed up by Natalie, and them and what's the other one? Somfully as well. I've started using Somfully. So looking forward to further things with that.
Cool. So talk to me about BuyBot Pro. What do you use it for? How do you use it?
So we use it every day. It's just one of them tools that everyone talks about, you can't really do without, which basically, you can't really do without. So I always look to see who my competitors are. So you don't really get to see the amount of stock quantity that people have just from the normal Amazon screen. So having something like BuyBot Pro is a huge benefit for that, and seeing who your competitors are. Also it tells you whether or not a deal is going to be relatively good for you. The charts that you get for that as well. So the number of sellers that you're competing against throughout the periods of time. So I find it really, really valuable. So it would make life very difficult for them to have that. Yeah.
Do you use the manual sourcing accelerator in it, or the app, the Retail Arbitrage app, or is it just do you just use it for analysis on the Chrome extension?
I don't use it for the retail arbitrage bit, because I'm not really doing retail arbitrage anymore. So it's really just the online arbitrage that we're doing. So we're just using it for, when I say we, I mean I'm talking about me and my two VAs, and we are basically using it every day just to see how well a product sells, and if we can make a mark with that product. If we can dominate that particular listing, then we will.
Okay, cool. So do your VAs use the manual sourcing accelerator in it or not? Where you can go to any web page anywhere in the world, right click on the title of the product, and then it does the analysis. Do they use that?
Yeah, they use that sometimes. But generally speaking, we use we kind of know which products we're looking to get before. So we're not that kind of method. I kind of think there's people that specifically look through different websites to actually look for that type of thing. But we've kind of specialized ourselves in a select few kind of websites that we really have a lot of inside knowledge about. So we don't really, it's not really so much like stabbing in the dark to look for different products, but they are aware of it. They know how to use BuyBot Pro pretty well, actually.
Okay.
Train myself.
Huh?
Train them myself.
Train them yourself. Awesome. Yeah. Nice one. So you mentioned Profit Protector Pro as well. You mentioned that first, which presumably means that you see that as impacting your business quite effectively, does it?
I think I got it first, actually, and then BuyBot Pro came later, which is probably the opposite way around for most people. But at the beginning, I was so tentative about which products I'm going to get that I didn't really want to buy everything. But maybe with hindsight, I would buy BuyBot Pro first. But yeah, Profit Protector Pro, invaluable piece of software that I changed my strategy recently, having watched Paul Morris on here just a couple of weeks ago with you.
Nice.
So he was talking about the ultra aggressive
Super aggressive dominator.
Yeah, that's the one. So since seeing him on there, I've implemented that on a number of different lines that we've got, and I've seen some decent results with that. And
awesome. Yeah. Are you seeing it drive the sales up?
Yeah, I am. I'm not really seeing it drive the sales too far down either. So, and if they are sort of low profitable products, it's probably because there's too much competition on them particular things anyway. So whereas before I might have had a pricing strategy talking about match low FBA price, which is something I used to do quite a bit, I feel like I'm getting taken advantage of by the people who are actually using other algorithmic strategies, which is the reason why I'm doing it right now, because I feel like I'm actually able to at least make some sales. And I have seen some of that magic that he was talking about, where the price goes up somehow, and it doesn't do it all the time, but it does do it. And so I think it probably levels itself out much better than what it would do, like if you're doing a balanced or match low FBA price or something like that. Because after a couple of weeks, you come back to check the minimum price, and quite frequently you'll see the minimum price has actually gone much further below where yours was, and the market price for a product is much lower now. So yeah, I'd rather get out of a product before it gets to that particular point in time than just stay in. Like the
I think on Profit Protector Pro website, the description of that strategy was incorrect. It was use this to dump all your stock, and people were like, "Oh, you can't be using that." But actually, I've not read what description it is, but they've changed the description since. But it's actually the only strategy that we just said to the developers, you just design your own strategy, like, and just go for it. And that's what they came up with. And actually, it's the one that most people seem to be having the most success with at the minute, because it just gives it more ability to do what it needs to do to get the buy box. But what we're seeing a lot of the time is people are actually selling for a lot more. So it's not dumping stock and like causing tanking. It's actually doing the opposite, and it's kind of driving the profits up. So you've seen that on some of your listings too.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one that I'm going to keep for the foreseeable time, until something better comes along. Another strategy on PPP. I don't know if you finished doing them right now, or if you're just going to tweak the ones you already have.
We're always building new stuff. The app's coming next. The app's the first ever app for any repricer that we're aware of anywhere in the world. So you'll have a dedicated mobile app on Android and iPhone, free of charge, included with your subscription. And yeah, you'll be able to just do it from bed. So you'll be able to go, oh, you know what, I'm just going to change strategies or tweak my mins or something. So we're excited about that. Okay, so just to give us a sense of where you're at then. So I couldn't quite nail you down on how much you think you've put into the business. So I'll ask you again, see if I can see. I don't know if you were dodging it like accidentally.
I wasn't dodging it. No, I just didn't feel like I didn't feel like I was going to.
Okay. Yeah. So just a rough idea. How much do you think you put into it? Because I think it's a good. Because some people start with 300 quid. I would never advise it, but some people do, and they've had amazing results. Others start with 500 quid or 1,000 or 1,500 quid or $5,000. So where would you say you were at roughly for initial investment into the business model?
Probably £3,000, something in the region. I mean, I don't know because I never really kept track of it. But I mean, I was using credit on my credit card, so I was able to try and finance certain things. So, but yeah, I mean, whatever money I could get my hand onto, it kind of went into the business, and that's where it was.
And are you still like that now? You just pile everything back in and just take as little as you can out, or what do you do with your profits and stuff? What does that look like?
Okay, at the moment, I'm not really taking. I mean, I do have a wage that I'm due to take, but I'm not really taking that at the moment. So they're having bits of money taken out of the business to keep me afloat, but most of it's just gone straight back into the business to buy more stock. And yeah, I mean, that's where I'd rather it be right now. There's nothing better to do. Yeah, so can't get a flight anywhere right now, but the moment I can, I'll be taking money out and getting myself out there. So
yeah. So what's your 2021 sales goal? What do you think you'll hit? What would you like to hit by the end of the year?
I'm looking for that 1 million mark. If I can get to £1 million for the sales for the year, then that'd be pretty outrageous.
And how likely is that looking right now? Is it a pipe dream, or do you think you're on track?
I think I'm probably on track. It's difficult to say because Q4 is just such a big crescendo to the whole year, isn't it? But
yeah,
where I'm at right now, I'm on more sales than what I was this time last year, quite obviously. But last year I've done about $250,000, and this year I think to try and reach.
Sorry, you broke up just then. Last year you was say that again.
Last year's sales was $250,000. So, yeah. But this year I think to do $1 million would be attainable. So far it's going pretty well, but it's the end of the year. It all matters about that, and I'm just trying to get as much stock as I possibly can, so we can not run out of stock when it's in most demand. And along the way, I really want to implement some of these strategies, like the unique bundles that Natalie's been teaching us all for the last couple of months. And I'm excited to try and do that, and I want to have them ready for Christmas as well, because at the moment I've got a little bit sidetracked with other products that I'm purchasing.
Yeah. Elite Sellers Academy training is unreal. So have you implemented any of it already and seen some uplift in stuff, or can you just see how it works and you're ready to go, or what's that look like?
Yeah, massively. I've seen some massive difference in the stock and products that we're selling. We have listed probably well over 100 different products now, from different types of bundles that we're doing. One of my VAs, both my VAs are working really amazing on them, but one does the pictures and the other one does mainly the words and SEO for them. So together it's just a pretty lethal combination of just getting these products out and optimized, so we can try and hit the ground running. And there's some new strategies that Natalie's just been teaching with in the last couple of weeks when it comes to pay-per-click, that I really want to try and get it right and get that honeymoon period right when you've got a product that you're looking to release. So I can try and make the most of the sales at that in the first couple of months, and sort of leading up to Q4. It seems like the perfect time to do it, really, because I've got my hands full with other things right now. So
yeah. So you're enjoying Elite Sellers Academy then? By the sounds of it, you couldn't sing its praises highly enough.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, it's a bit of a game changer. It separates the newbies to the, I don't know, intermediaries, pros. The people who are looking to that next level to take themselves up there. So yeah, it's definitely a bit of a game changer, because the topic of conversation, you're still getting many of the Facebook groups that you have is like, how do I send in my first shipment? And I'm so far beyond that, and I'd love to continue to help people to do all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, I'm quite busy with what I do. So, of course,
yeah. So a prerequisite of that group is it's not for beginners, and Natalie's been very vocal and open about that. It's for intermediate/advanced sellers, and yeah, I guess you're going to appreciate the fact that nobody's asking about how to prep a blooming Barbie doll or something. Okay. So what tips have you learned along the way? You said you made some massive mistakes. Talk to me about some of the biggest mistakes you made in the early days, and then I'd love to ask you what your biggest tips are. But let's just start with some of the biggest mistakes you made, so people can learn from what you did wrong, and then they don't have to do it wrong.
Okay, I suppose looking back now, I'll say selling and repeat selling products that you can't make a profit on. For some reason, I've done this multiple times, and you'd think you'd learn the lesson after the first time. But if you don't have the information to hand that a product is losing you money, then you may not even be aware of it. So it's all about getting yourself the right software and information to make that decision informed. So that'd be my main tip for trying to avoid.
So your biggest tip: get BuyBot Pro, get Profit Protector Pro.
Yeah, actually, that would have worked, actually. So yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that I didn't get. I think it took me about best part of half a year to try and to actually get BuyBot Pro. I was umming and ahhing about it. I really wanted that trial period, but it doesn't come with a trial period. So I just had to dive in. And for me, I normally do dive in. So it's weird that I didn't do it on that occasion. But
but you're glad you did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's good. So, okay. So any other lessons learned from the early days, big mistakes you made?
Things I do nowadays that I don't do back then is I'm much more decisive about where I put my money. So if I see a product that's making a decent amount of money and I can cut other people out of the deal, then I'm very quick to react on it, and that's what I'll do. So I suppose that is a trait that I've developed over the years.
What do you mean by cut other people out the deal? What does that look like? What's that?
I mean, when there's limited stock and you know there's limited stock. Yeah,
so you buy a lot.
Yeah, it was when I first started doing it, it was a big investment for me, big risk as well. Actually, I suppose when you consider the amount of money I've got involved in these kind of things, the amount of stock that I have. But nowadays, it just seems like an average purchase for me, which is but back in the day, it was like, I'm going to put like a big bulk of my money into this, but now it's just like it's an average day. I could do 3 or 4 of them easily in a day and still look to do some more in the next week. So
you start with 3,000-ish. I know you didn't count it. What if you had to add up all the money you've got in stock now? What would you say value to you? Not value for the buyer, not what you'll sell it at, but how much money have you got invested in stock, do you reckon, roughly? Are we talking 50 grand? Are we talking 100 grand? Where are we at?
Money that I purchased it for, the costs. Possibly 100 grand or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, something like 100 grand.
And would you say the majority of that has been built up through actually doing OA, or is that from extra injected cash after?
It's a bit of both, really, to be honest, because I got the bounce back loan, so I got something to the tune of 34 grand. Actually, I was really quite fortunate because I was able to get my hands on it, and it didn't seem like I was ever going to be able to do it because when I first applied for it, I was a sole trader, and they were very keen to give them out to limited companies, but not sole traders. And so, but they still were able to give them out to sole traders. So I eventually got that injection of money towards the tail end of last year, and I was able to invest it within a week, pretty much. I knew exactly what I wanted to get.
Really, a week?
Yeah,
34 grand in a week.
Something like that. Wow. Didn't take much time. And so I've been able to get my hands on an extra credit card as well, and some additional loaning, and so I'm able to take it up to the next level. But it's really to try and secure more stock that I can help grow the business. And I think there comes to a point where you're going to taper off a little bit, and you're just going to level out a bit with the actual borrowing, and it's going to really be something that's much more on a cyclical kind of basis. So when you do see them deals that come in, and you want us to react quickly, then go for it. But you don't have to keep pushing them boundaries all the time, because I've already got a lot of stock, and I can sell quite comfortably with what I've got right now, and not go out of stock for the next half a year or so.
So Terry, with all that money in stock and all that, like all your eggs in one basket, but like you're very much all in on Amazon. Do you live in fear, like many sellers do, of getting suspended?
Yeah, totally. I do. So I'm pretty paranoid about it, actually. I've watched Luke Dugan talk about it a number of times, and I've seen other people actually just get suspended, people you don't think ever would, because they might be like YouTube personalities as well, and they get suspended, and you think, well, if it's going to happen to them, it could easily happen to me. So I have checks going on every single day. One of my VAs is always checking, like a whole list of different things to check, and we know exactly what's going on with the account each day. So we're in as good a shape as we possibly could be, I think, when it comes to the account health. So if something's going to go wrong, we'll know about it within 24 hours, and we'll be able to act on it. So
have you got suspension safeguard?
I do, yeah. Got that with Bible Pro. Kind of think that do I really need it? But yeah, I probably do. So I'm so dependent on the business.
You know what? You don't know you're going to need it till you need it. Do you know what I mean? Like people, it's more people get suspended than you'd like to think, and the worst bit is, like, the ones that deserve it, I say get them suspended. Like some people, they're selling counterfeit, dodgy stuff. Suspend them, never let them sell again. As far as I'm concerned, bye-bye, ta-ta, good riddance, because like nobody wants to buy that stuff. Like I bought a blooming, it was off eBay, it weren't off Amazon, but I bought for a Philips Sonicare, the toothbrush head thing for an electric toothbrush, and it was fake, and it was wiggling off the thing as I had it in my mouth. It was coming off the thing. I mean, it could have choked somebody, or like it just didn't work. And like that seller's gone now. He got booted by eBay, which is good, but he's probably selling under another listing. But people like that I've got no time for. But good sellers like you that are playing by the rules, playing by the book, not trying to do anything wrong, it's you guys that really suspension safeguard is made for, because you might get caught up in something that you didn't actually do anything wrong, or you didn't intend on doing anything wrong. And then you like, don't know what to do. You start emailing Amazon, messaging Amazon, and Amazon just goes, sorry, we're not talking to you anymore. And then it's permanent. Whereas with suspension safeguard, the time that happens, you reach out to Karen and she'll get you fixed up. Real good. So big proponent of that. Okay. So going on to your biggest tips, what would you say was your biggest tip? Maybe one, a lot of people seem to say shallow and wide and all that stuff. I get the impression you're not a shallow and wide kind of guy. You're a, like, if it makes money, let's buy 100 units. But what's your biggest? Huh?
Bit of both. For what I would say, and I put this down, I anticipated this question. I thought that my best tip would be to specialize in a few stores. Now, if you specialize in a few stores, mainly 1 or 2, 3 or whatever, then the products that they do, you can try and get as many different products and different ASINs as possible. So you don't need to buy from multiple different shops. You can just put in a few orders from different shops and have a whole load of different ASINs that you're selling under. And if you know that they are profitable, then just repeat the process. But nothing really seems to last forever in this game. And sometimes competitors come along and ruin the day for everyone. And it's happened to me recently as well. So if you've got other good backups to fall on and depend upon, then it kind of mitigates the problems that you got there. So definitely specialize in a few shops, but you can spread wide when you're there. And if
when you say a few shops, Terry, you don't mean Tesco and Argos. Do you mean like specialist retailers, or do you mean wholesalers, or what do you mean?
Any shop or retail wholesale that you can buy big volume from and don't mind you doing it. So, if you're going to be okay one week, but the next week they're going to say, sorry, you've reached your quota for this month, then they're probably not ones that you really want to do business with going forward, because they're not very helpful towards your business. So buy from places you can buy in quantity, and so you can repeat that, and they're happy for you to do that. And if you're able to do that and prove to them you're doing it on a regular basis, you can ask them for a discount. So that's another one. So get your discount in there if you can. It's not always possible, but sometimes it is.
So do you focus on clearance sections or 2-for-1s or anything like that, or are you literally building up kind of a replenishable list of stuff you can buy at full price in the store, or is it more the bundles side of things? So you're buying 3 tins of Dove deodorant, putting them together, and there's you. What's that? Talk about that.
Yeah. So with the bundles, I don't think it's quite so important that you get stuff that's reduced, because if you'll get when I've been doing bundles, it's mainly been through wholesale. But there are other manufacturers that you can buy from as well that would still sell on large quantity, and they still do these deals of 2-for-1 or 3-for-2 or whatever it happens to be that you manage to get, and they're the times to buy it. If you're going to buy in between the times that they have these special offers, then you're going to be out of an advantage. You're going to lose the advantage. You're going to lose the edge to your competitors who are buying during the sale periods that they have, and they do run on like a calendar cyclical kind of thing. So you can wait, whether it's 3 months or 6 months or something, for that deal to come back around. And when it does stock up, send it in, be patient, and sell when other people run out. But what you find from some.
Sorry, so your tip is, say in a year, they have 4 sales per year. You wouldn't buy that product. You'd keep an eye on that product, but you'd wait for those sales, buy loads, and then wait for the next sale. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the way to do it. If you're buying in between because you're impatient, you might see that everyone's run out of stock and the price is going up. The reason for that is because that they all bought their stock during the discounted periods of time. So if you're buying during the time, the gap between everyone's run out of stock and the sale comes on once again, then you can have it for that period of time, but don't expect it to last forever, because as soon as the sale comes on, there's going to be a flood of other people that come in and sell for that area. And generally speaking, I don't really want to be involved in highly competitive ASINs anyway. So, like I say, nothing lasts forever. Sometimes these products that you've been selling during when you've been able to get the discounted prices, it might not even be a good idea to buy them anymore because everyone's cottoned onto it. So you need to figure out some other ways, create your own bundles, and list them yourself. Search engine optimization and get that sold out there.
So speaking of competition, if Amazon's on a listing, do you avoid it or do you don't care?
Not really that bothered, to be honest. It's not like a game changer for me. Sometimes I will sell on there. Sometimes I won't. It does play in my mind if Amazon allow you to sell on there. I've only really had one example where Amazon didn't allow me to sell on there, and that was a Tour de France book. I've never sold a book ever since then. I'm thinking, why would I ever want to sell books? Can't understand how people make a living out of it, but they do. so it's something I don't really touch anymore. But yeah, they really didn't share the buy box with that. So
books on Amazon in the UK, I think is still a little bit of one of them weird ones. But has Amazon ever jumped on one of your good listings that wasn't on there when you sourced it, and then they wouldn't give up the buy box? Have you got any experience of that kind of thing or not?
Yeah, maybe it's happened once or twice. Doesn't really happen too much nowadays. Sometimes they appear on listings that I'm on, and they give themselves 999 units of stock, and they don't have it. You just want to prove the test. Just buy 999 from them and see that email come through. Sorry, we don't have the stock. You think that they just put 999 on there and they don't have it? You think? Yeah, of course they don't. Yeah, they can't put it on there one day and then take it off the next. But they haven't. They may be sold like 3 or 4. So why would they?
Do you not think that it's related to they have manufacturers or suppliers that go, yeah, you can have as many as you want at Amazon. So they just go, yeah, we've got 999. And knowing that it's actually coming from them whenever they want it anyway. Do you not think it's a little bit of that? Do you think it's literally a bit of a Amazon just being sneaky and just being like, well, we've got 3 units, but we'll put 999 anyway?
Well, you're suggesting that maybe they're drop shipping it from the manufacturers?
I don't know about drop shipping, but maybe having direct access to a supplier that's like literally they know that they can have them whenever they want. So let's say that supplier does 20 truckloads per day into their particular fulfillment center, and that supplier has direct links with the manufacturer and they can have as many of those units as they want. I don't know if Amazon could see that as, well, we've not got them right now, but we can have them tomorrow. So as far as we're concerned, or we can have them tonight even. So as far as we're concerned, we just change a few. If we get an influx of sales, we can get as many as we need tomorrow anyway. A bit of that. I'm liking this.
I don't think that's the case at all. I think they've got some cowboys working for them. Just 999 in there. Seriously, there's no way they're getting their hands on this stock. I just know there's no way they're getting their hands on this stock whatsoever. Even if they had direct links to the manufacturer, I just don't see it happening. So
I was never scared when I was selling online arbitrage stuff. I was never scared if Amazon were on a listing. But a lot of sellers are like, no, if Amazon's on it, I'm not on it. But what you've just said there, if that's the truth, and if that you're seeing that, I know you're telling the truth, but if that's the reality of the situation, that they come in with 999 stock and then they go out with they go out the next day when they've not sold 999, that's an argument for not fearing Amazon too much anyway, surely, because if you can't trust those figures, then you shouldn't be making buying decisions on those figures, and you should maybe not be so fearful of Amazon.
Yeah, I much prefer to see a figure on there from Amazon on BuyBot Pro, as you see on the competition analysis, of like 274 or something like that. That is a real number, right? So you think, okay, they're only down to 274 units. But when you see 999 there, you think, okay, right, that's not really happening. And,
do you take 999 with a pinch of salt, or do you see that as no, I'm staying away from it? Is it?
I take it. I don't really think that's what they want, but I wouldn't necessarily look for listings that Amazon are on because of that. But I suppose that is a way to play it. You could look for listings that they're on. A lot of things, if you see that the price is right near the bottom and it's not going to be profitable, and Amazon are clearly keeping it down at a very, very low ROI, then okay, they probably have got 999, or they're just at least blocking everyone else from actually selling it. So I wouldn't be involved in that. But if the price looks like it's available for decent ROI, then maybe I'll be more interested. for sure.
Are you a planner, Terry? Are you like a bit of have you got like a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan? And if so, what's the goal? Where are you hoping to take it to? What's your dream?
I'm not as good a planner as what I should be, really. I mean, that is one of the things I've been looking to do this year, actually, just go through the planning, figure out what my goals are. But because the way the business is for me, each day I'm just trying to get as much stock as possible. And that's really where I'm at. And I really want to get the business to a point where everything has been, like there's a process for everything that's being done. And with the girls that I've got working for me at the moment, they basically mitigate every single thing that I think of that there needs to be resolved. It just becomes another task that's in Asana that I assign to one of them, and then they will do this, and it's like peace of mind. It's being dealt with, and then if there's something else that comes to my mind that we need to try and do this in order to, like a health check or something like that on the account side of things, then I will get them to do that. And so yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to make it as robust as possible. I want the business just to continue to grow. I know people talk about don't grow the business too much. For me, I think maybe the sweet spot might be something like about 5 million per year or something. I think that would be quite nice. And that would involve unique bundles, maybe about 50 of them or something per year that are just replenishable. So you can just keep doing them and just churning them out. I want to try and move away from the OA side of things. I'm not doing RA at all anyway. So move away from the OA side of things, but maybe continue with my finger in some of the pies because they are so lucrative as well. But then moving into unique bundles and going down that side of things. I don't know. Maybe I need to create a brand.
Now you're not working for the man. Like I assume that makes you quite happy in what you're doing. Is it? Are you happy day to day, or do you find what you do? Do you hate it, or how do you find it? Do you like the freedom, or where you at?
I love it. I think it's great. I wake up early. I normally woke up about 4 o'clock during the winter months because I was on Philippine time scale. So I sort of wake up for maybe start 5 or 6 or something, so we can start talking over Skype and be on the same wavelength. But nowadays I'm sort of waking up a little bit later in the day. Part of that is due to the day saving things, but the other part of it as well is because the girls have got their list of jobs that they're going to be doing on a regular basis. I can let them get on and do their thing. If they've got questions by the time I'm logging on, then they can be asking me them. And it's I'm sorry, I've forgotten about what the question was now.
Me too. Don't worry. You broke up a little bit there too, so don't worry. Just as an aside thing, because it came into my head, do you like Asana?
I do, yeah. Asana's a real big game changer for me. It was quite a lengthy period for me to try and adopt it. I tried once already, and then it kind of got put on a back burner, and then we just never really touched upon it. But then it was when the second FBA came in that I thought really need to try and list these jobs down so they are things that are being taken care of by each one of you. Instead of it just being like, right, we need to do this, we need to do that. And I was writing things literally on like a notepad, not even like a pen and paper one, but just on the computer. And I'd open up each one each day and go, right, I need to do this job, this job, this job, this job. But now jobs are just being taken care of because they just get ticked off each time they get done. And I get a little message that comes through to my phone saying, so-and-so's done this, so-and-so's done that. And that's great, So yeah, it's awesome to have that. But yeah, I love this. This was the question. I do love what I do nowadays. I get a lot of freedom. Yeah, I get a lot of freedom with this. I wake up early. I feel energized to do that. And I have an early schedule. I have like a Joe Wicks workout come midday, and then I go out on my bike a lot of the time in the afternoon. So yeah, loving it. I get to chat with people with similar interests online as well. So pretty cool.
Well, Terry, I think this is the longest one of these I've done so far, so I'm not going to take any more of your time up. But I will say a massive thank you for joining me. Really appreciate you sharing some of your journey with us. And it's been great to deep dive into Terry Clapson. I see you in the groups, and this is the first time we've properly chatted. So it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise, Matt. It's an honor, mate.
Well, yeah, thanks ever so much, Terry. If you enjoyed this interview, guys, hit the thumbs up button. And if you want me to ask I mean, maybe Terry will come back in the future, or maybe there's some questions that I'm failing to ask other guests. Pop them down in the comments, and I'll make sure I make a list of them and make sure I ask them next. And maybe Terry will answer it if you've got a specific question for Terry. But yeah, massive thanks for joining us today, Terry, and sharing your journey. And yeah, that's it. Is there anything else you want to say, or before we go?
Yeah, well, just follow your own path, try your hardest each day, and success will follow. You know, that's what I reckon. So keep doing it.
But for anybody that's looking at this, maybe like you did for a while, where you was a little bit trying to figure it out, what would you say to those people that are on the fence thinking about getting into online arbitrage?
Yeah, don't second doubt yourself. You know, if this is what you want to do, you want like a little bit of a life of freedom, and you feel like you're in a rat race, then this could easily be the answer for you. You know, it is for many people, and it just depends on how willing you are to try and fill that void in your life. So, you know, just keep pushing hard. You know, definitely. And I enjoy it every day. So maybe it's right for you as well. Awesome.
And I love it. All right then, Terry. Thanks ever so much. Give us a thumbs up. And yeah, cheers, guys.